And we're live, finally, after 2 weeks. Hello there, everybody, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to episode 109, the DayZ Podcast. Enoch, Modern, Ruthless, Skill Speeder. Hello there, my guys. Hope you're doing okay. I am joined again this week by my good friends Dump and Lemons. Dump, how you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. It's been a rough couple weeks, but I'm doing well.
That's good. Well, apart from the rough couple of weeks. You know what isn't rough? Your face. How fucking dare you? How dare you?
Hey, I had to go to a wedding. You know.
You should have got
wedding crashers.
No, you should have got a bead where you should have flexed on that shit, dude. You should have just flexed on it. Hell yes. And Lemons, my boy, how you doing?
A lot better. I made a very good recovery from COVID, so I'm
That's
definitely
great.
feeling back in the action. So
Good lad. I'm always glad to hear that you're doing well. Well, both of you guys are doing well. So, myself, not doing too bad, apart from my burping. Yeah, I'm not doing too bad. It's been an interesting couple of weeks. You know, 118 came out. Some good stuff on the job front, which had to take priority. Things are going well, and yeah, so not too bad at all. Before we do get into the show, though, something I do want to mention that came to my attention. We have a DayZ community member, who sadly passed away. And I believe it was to cancer, and it was fucking brutal. I saw the comments, I saw everything about it, and it was absolutely horrible to hear. So we just want to extend our well wishes to Miss Foo's family, their community, their friends, and if you want to help out, there's a GoFundMe in the chat. I highly suggest you click on it, donate what you can. Raise funds in memory of the much loved Miss Foo. Personally, I wasn't a viewer of them. I was aware of them though. And it doesn't matter whether you're big or small, most known person or nobody knows you. As far as I'm concerned, if you're in the DayZ community, you're family. So everybody contribute as much as you can. Spread the word, and rest in peace, Miss Foo. I just had to mention that first off. I just had to. I didn't feel it was right to do it right at the end. And I didn't want to interject in any of the topics to say, by the way, this has happened. I felt right to do it at the start, let everybody know, and go on from there.
You were right to do so.
Hell yeah! Anyway, humour. So, as I said, it's been a busy couple of weeks, but one of the things that has happened is we all know 118 has hit stable, and we have talked about it a little bit more things have come out about it. Most recently, a new experimental patch has been released to address some of the issues. Let's see if I can find the link for the patch notes. I did have it up here, but I seem to have closed it because I am a silly little Billy. In fact, no, Lemons, we actually discovered the tweet was deleted.
Yep, the tweet was deleted.
Which is...
I can send you a screenshot of it, though.
I do have the link. I will send it to both of you. And to yourself, Leather Lemons. So, one of the interesting things about this experimental patch, and we shall briefly go through it for everybody. And it didn't capture. I've been doing this show for I don't know how many weeks now. Showed it off to everybody. Want to make sure, everything's all good. And of course, technical issues as always. But anyway, so we'll scroll all the way down to the bottom. Yesterday at 10:34 a.m, a new patch was released on experimental build Server crash related to vehicles. Derringer was missing a reload sound after only one bullet was shot. Derringer did not display ejected shells. The character got stuck in walking speed after dying while in inventory. That's a bit of a weird one. It was possible to arm an empty improvised explosive using an alarm clock or kitchen timer. Consuming an item assigned to a quick slot could result in the slot becoming unresponsive. I have had the issue, actually, with bandages in rags. It's quite annoying, actually. Raising hands with an open map in hands could result in desynchronization. Widgets were still displayed after disabling the HUD via key binding. Plastic explosives were dealing inconsistent damage. This also includes additional damage rebalance to affect this fix. So even though we have the previous update, the explosive update for the base building, which you actually took some time to actually look into and to see exactly what was changed there. So that'll need another change as well. Disarmed plastic explosives and improvised explosives could not be picked up, which was really weird. Ruined landmines and bear traps were still triggered on contact. Cargo of vehicles and barrels were not displayed properly. That was one of the major things I was impressed they messed up. Absolutely impressed. Like, I think we were talking last night about it a little bit, Lemons. Like, how did they mess up so bad with that? As far as I'm aware, as far as I'm aware, they didn't change anything to do with storage. Dump, I don't know if you can confirm that. If you've messed around.
As far as I knew, they didn't do anything. It could have been a inheritance change.
Possibly.
They forgot to call super. Maybe they didn't inherit it right. Maybe they changed a variable that didn't need to be changed. Or maybe they put it in a variable with the same name. And because of how DayZ's modding works, just off inheritance, it overwrote the variable.
Yeah, it's so weird, but I'm finally glad that they have addressed it, because I know on a couple of servers I play, it's a massive issue. Modders came up with a way to kind of fix it, but I don't know if it worked. Don't think it did. The stuff changed in this experimental update. The M79 launcher can no longer jam. Slightly increased resistance of the base building and walls against explosive damage, which is tied to the plastic explosive fix, which we just mentioned before. On the server side, changed, newly implemented static objects were renamed to static object _ star instead of static _, which, Lemons, you had a bit of a... Yeah, you had a bit of a whew with that last night, which was funny. Fixed, Chernarus contaminated areas had seasonal event usage flag applied. Okay.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Did it just say seasonal?
Seasonal event usage
So
flag applied.
you could get a witch's nose. You could get a witch's nose or a cauldron from a gas zone.
That's brilliant. Fixed key... This is modding. Fixed key bindings. Trying to add sorting block to modded inputs not recognized. A server crash related to scripted animal commands. Bulldozer was not animating proxies. That's sick. That's great.
That was frustrating.
That was fantastic. They fixed it though, but yeah, it was frustrating. Modded key binding translations were not displayed. Adding too many unsorting tabs in the key binding menu could cause issues with the tab buttons. So, yes. An interesting experimental fix, which does fix some issues that absolutely need sorting out, especially the barrels. Really, really glad they sorted that out. Wrath in chat, or you mind if I join in on this? If you mean this particular topic, certainly. Head in the green room, would love to hear your input. Pardon me. If you've got anything to add to that, especially on the console side, since Wrath TV is also console. Yeah, so like I said, an interesting experimental update. Again, I'm still surprised that they managed to mess up the storage, but it is what it is. You know, they fixed it, and we'll probably see that.
I'm just glad they fixed it.
Yeah,
I'm just glad they fixed it.
Same, yeah. I'm just
It is nice they
hoping.
move quick.
Yeah, exactly.
Remember Remember, lad, how we used to have that problem where items would get stuck in inventory, like you couldn't move them out or move them back in. Remember that?
It still fucking happens.
Yeah, it used to be really problematic. It existed for 3 updates, folks. So this was quick movement on their part.
Well, they pretty much had to. Wrath, welcome to the show. How you doing?
Ref.
No red 9, but anyway,
you're doing pretty well. That's it. You are getting disconnected. Right. Do you so since you've requested to come on for this little for this subject, is anything you want to add? Anything that you discovered or anything like that?
Hang on, let me get my thing situated right here.
He's getting his notes, folks. He's written out an essay.
Please tell me you don't have a red 9 like 20 times.
Please don't.
No. I'm pretty sure Lad has ended the quota for the red 9 complaints.
We met that quota months ago because you lot wouldn't shut the hell up about it. After Lad has ceased his red 9 talk, the tales continued. But yes, how has 118 been on the console side, Lemons and Wrath?
So far, at least on my side, it's been pretty good. I mean, obviously, there's the whole storage issues that are still plaguing us at the moment, which I know you guys touched upon. Mm-hmm. Let's see. I got my hands on the grenade launcher.
Right. Okay.
Now, granted, I didn't get it like say on vanilla. It was on a modded server. And let's just say that I have to remind myself I'm not playing Call of Duty when I fire the damn thing.
Does it make a big bada boom?
It makes a big bada boom, but I keep forgetting that splash damage is actually a lot more deadly than it is in Call of Duty.
Welcome to an army simulator turning to a survival game.
There we go, exactly. But
I also have to remember that carrying about 30 rounds of grenade launcher ammo is very bad for the health.
Nah, you're just weak.
Yeah, that's a very big bada boom. As it goes off, it gets ruined. It doesn't matter.
My buddy Chuckles can attest to that because he decided to shoot me and he died too. And he was like, "What happened?" I was like, "What do you mean? What happened? My screen just turned red. I'm dead. Yeah, because you freaking shot me. I have holy grenade launcher ammo on me."
Oh, bless you.
All right, folks, you heard it here first. The new meta, suicide bomb.
Oh,
God. That's what I did. That's what I started doing. It was like, all right, 10. That should be enough. Ah!
Oh Lord.
JC builds to a wall.
Oh God, I dare think. JC builds in chat. Hello there. Thank you very much for coming in the chat. Hope you're doing well. But yeah, so
whoa, Marks, get on that.
Yeah, you know what? That would be sick. That would be actually quite interesting. But yeah, so obviously, you've tried out the M79. You got absolutely flabbergasted by it because you're silly. But do you feel like it was a relatively good console update, or do you feel like it was a bit lackluster?
I wouldn't say it's lackluster, but it is a significant update. I'm already seeing people embracing it on the server that I'm on. It's really switching up the meta, especially when you hear the thump before the boom.
Yes.
Because there's that immediate holy shit factor that you have to put in account now. Now for the other explosives, I haven't really gotten a huge hands-on, like say for the IED or just making a regular plastic explosive, because I'm still kind of learning how to arm that.
Right.
Which I found out later. Now for the Claymore, I think I don't know if this is just enough server lag, but I think it could be a tad more responsive when I pull the trigger.
Okay.
So I can't, like, I only managed to kill one person with it, but I don't know if this was due to server lag either on my end or their end.
To be
But
fair, that's
I
more
pulled the
like
trigger.
If I can hop in, I have something to add to that too. So I have discovered a bug with all the explosives that utilize the remote detonation unit.
right.
If you have any of the bombs set up and wired to a remote detonator, once a server restart happens, it doesn't work anymore. So you'll have to remove the remote transceiver and re-add it, or else it just won't make the connection.
Ah.
Okay, I know what's happening. Makes sense.
There's no set network sync kind of stuff, isn't that right? Or
Yep, it's not saving the variable to the server as a variable. It's just immediately undoing it because the client no longer exists.
oh,
Yeah.
Which
So it's
actually
pretty.
might be on purpose.
I'd hope so. I'd hope it'd be on purpose because that's kind of it. It screwed up a few of my plans, having bombs set up and then the server restart hits you, and then the person's coming down, you press it, and it's just not working. And you're like, what the hell? You don't know how confused I was, like, for the first 5 minutes when I realized, like, when I didn't know that it was a bug. I was like, huh? Why isn't it going on?
Yeah.
oh bloody hell.
You're like Heath Ledger with the clacker, and he's like, really? And then everything just starts blowing up.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, it might be a balancing feature where if, let's say, you put down a bunch of remote explosives and then you log off, and then unfortunately you metagame and then log on, you can't use it because you disconnected.
Or it
That
could have just been
would make
oversight.
sense. It could either be an oversight, but it could also be a balancing thing. Either way is interesting. If somebody reports and it gets fixed, obviously there you go. But if it is intended, then I can actually understand why. Compared to other things that they've done, I could actually understand why they may have done that intentionally. I've played a fair bit of 118. Obviously, who bloody hasn't? And I don't know. I don't know about this update. I've said about it before, so I won't repeat myself too much. But I guess I'm just not satisfied that they broke a core part of the game. Yes, sure, it's getting fixed now, but I don't know. Something about this update kind of put a bad taste in my mouth. Maybe I'm just burnt out. Maybe I'm just burnt out in the game. That's why I'm thinking so negatively on it. But I don't know. I guess I'm just a bit too soon to say, but I'm just waiting for 119. I've already put my prediction when that's coming out, and I've already predicted around August September time. And if it is going to emulate how last year's went, with the fourth update being the major one, and we like all of us spent hours upon hours like scanning every single picture and video that came out, every post, trying to find all the links and that like we've done last year. I want to do it again this year because it was so fun. It was so goddamn fun.
What are your predictions? What kind of predictions do you think is going to be in the next update?
So, I think that we are going to start seeing the changes to Livonia. I think that we're going to get most, if not some, of the old weapons back, including the Red 9. You're just waiting for it. Despite the fact that there's been very little changes to the crossbows and the bows, despite people thinking, oh, there's new animations, there isn't. I do actually think we'll get them. I do actually think that we're going to get them.
Stick change.
It's not only the stick change, but it's actually the fact that the crossbow can take attachments now. And it takes the crossbow red dot, and it's aligned perfectly.
Could it not do that prior?
No, as far as I'm aware, no, it couldn't do that. there's some actions that I did see before that weren't in there now, referring to the quickie bow, which is interesting. I think that we're going to get leather tanning back. But
Do you think we're going to be seeing every bow and crossbow, every variation make it back in, or only a few?
I think if they don't bring every single bow back, they're really selling themselves short. But we will have to see what they do in that regard. I mean, well, I was going to say that with every update, we just have to see what they do. But in this case, we really will have to see because that'll be really interesting.
Realistically, though, the only one I could see not making it back would be the PVC bow, because we don't have PVC in the game. Yeah.
You know
what? Not yet.
It would be so funny if they added the PVC with the bow and a PVC homemade shotgun.
There you go.
That would be funny as hell. That would be so funny. Scale Speeder says custom console spawn loadouts in 1.19.
He's referring to like the init C, like where you can specify, because that has been they have spoken about that before.
Yes.
About how they want to add that into console. So.
Yes.
I will say that will bring a lot of good and bad to the game, for console at least.
We do know it's kind of possible because on the previous experimental update, they let people spawn in with BK.
So maybe there's some testing going on there. But I think the major thing we will get is the new vehicle physics.
That's what I was going to ask. It's like, what kind? Is it just going to be the vehicle update? Or do you think they're going to add new vehicles to it?
I don't think we're going to get new vehicles. So something that I saw that was discussed in the DayZ Podcast Discord is the fact that people noticed that the buses now have wheels on them, right? They have the wheels on them, back on the model. Look great, by the way. To me, that means that we're not getting the bus.
Exactly, because they had the wheels on there originally, but they had purposely removed them from the model to add in the transit bus wheels in place of those ones. So the fact that they added the model back kind of solidifies the fact that we probably won't be seeing those wheels.
Yeah, we won't be getting them back at all. And you know what?
Sorry, not even the bus, not just the wheels.
We get the bus, but no wheels.
Yep.
But yeah, no, we're not. I don't think we're going to get the bus back. In fact, there isn't even a config for it anymore. Let's just put it that way. There's no config. There's no nothing. There's just the model.
Yeah. And one thing that's really kind of egged me on too is not only is that one gone, but they removed the one for the utility van, the one for the normal kind of Volkswagen-looking Beetle sort of car, and those have also been fully removed. And that's kind of, it's sad because those were fully ready to go and start working and all that stuff. And I feel they would have made a great addition to the game.
Yeah.
So
I think
it's sad to see they made their way out.
I think if they do add a vehicle to this weapons update, I do think we're going to get a military vehicle, and I think it's high time we get a military vehicle. Nothing to the extent of like a tank.
No, but like at least like a UAZ, you know?
Something like a UAZ or something that is...
I want a BMP.
Nothing like that, but I do think that we'll get something that you can get protected from for at least a short while.
Imagine the official players going crazy over that. That would be like riots if they added a BMP in. So many people would give hate to that. And like for like the naturalists of DayZ, that would be like, oh man, that would be...
BMP but with no gun.
Well, see, the interesting thing is, right, and this is why I think we'll get a military vehicle from Reforger. So, we all know that backporting Reforger assets to DayZ is possible. They've done it with the FAMAS, they've done it with the M16, and they've done it for the M79. And the way that you can tell is that DayZ weapons are typically made out of one type of material, like one RV mat. Reforger's type stuff is done with multiple. 2, for example. All of the new ones, they have 2. The vehicle physics that are coming in, obviously based on full Enfusion, based on Reforger, it would make sense that they port the same, like one of the vehicles from there, it uses the same physics, uses the same part. All it would need would be an Enfusion to RV mat conversion for the multiple materials, applying them to separate RV mats and materials. Heck, cars already do that anyway. That's why I think they would do that. That's why I think they'll do it. And I think they'll do that for 119, if not 120. But it would be really cool if we do see something from there. I've seen people say that we're going to get helicopters and shit like that, and it's like...
Not yet.
No. We're never, ever going to get vanilla native aircraft. And if we do, and I'll say this now, if we do, I will not only fucking cry, I will hire somebody to bake a DayZ shoe, and I will eat it on stream.
I'm gonna hold that to you, man.
I will eat it on stream. I'll find somebody that can bake a cake in the style of like maybe the sneaker from DayZ, and I will eat it on stream. Yes, I'll eat it on stream.
I will hold you up to that. Man.
Nice.
Clip this if you can. And hold it up to us. God.
So I do agree with the rapper in the chat. He said he wishes that he had more like first responder vehicles, like fire truck wrecks and ambulance wrecks, and it's something that it seems weird because they have the police wrecks and we have hospitals and fire stations, but there's no actual first responder vehicles anywhere.
Yeah, I've mentioned that before because I want to create an Events Plus mod, which I still want to do, by the way. But I do think that something like that should be vanilla. In fact, Mass has been messing around a little bit more with how events spawn post 118, and it's great. It's really great. It's fantastic. It's a really good way to do it. So the potential is there, and the fact that they haven't done anything like that beats the hell out of me. But maybe we'll see that in the future. You never know. You know, the podcast and, you know, the community, I like to think the community listens to us as well as the devs. Some ideas that we've presented on the show before has been implemented, so you never know. Maybe we can get some enough discussions, but they'll be able to be like, you know what? Let's get a fire truck in there. That would be sick.
You know what? I think they're just waiting for a certain artist to join the team, lad.
Hey, so about that 119 update, you know? That's not out yet. Shut up. But yeah. I'm getting to it, alright? I'm getting to it. Shut up. But maybe wants to bring out the Red 9, I'll apply.
Nice. Even if they only add in the 1.9 and 1.19, the updated vehicle physics and desync issues and stuff like that, it'll be a game changer for vehicles overall. I don't think we need another vehicle with that update. People will be more pleased than ever to have it. I think adding a vehicle in with it would just be extra work. I'd rather them focus on finally fixing vehicles. It's been a problem since it came about. Vehicles were first introduced, and it still existed, 10 years plus later?
It is a fair point.
Actually,
it is a fair point. Yeah.
Yeah. So I could care less if they add in a clown car or a Ratmobile. You know, as long as they work on the vehicle physics, I think that's what's important.
I want tractors.
Oh yeah.
Hey, I want a tractor too.
I want my utility van, man. Come on.
I think. Pardon me. I think it would be.
I have said it. I have said it once, and I will say it again. I want us to be able to customize our vehicle so we can put armor on it.
Depends on how they implement it. He said he wants vehicles to be able to like put armor on them. Like I don't know.
Actually, yes.
Depends on how they execute it. I don't want no looking like Left 4 Dead survival vehicle where it's like a big ramp on the front of the vehicle shooting vehicles off and stuff, you know? Nothing like that.
Let me put sheet metal on it,
you know? Yeah, like nail a bit of sheet metal to it or put like a bit of barbed wire on the vehicle, you know?
And this can be the drawback. You put sheet metal on it, you'll have like a small little slit, And even in third person, that's all you can see, like they did with the night helmet.
Yeah.
I've actually suggested something like that before. I think I was talking about it the other night. I thought it would be really, really funny to do that. I do think that we shouldn't, we should, but we shouldn't. I can see both points, because with a car, it's already a fucking, I shouldn't swear, it's already a faff on to get one built up fully to good condition, and then you have to add to that with sheet metal to do whatever you need to do. Then you have to think about, right, okay, how would the sheet metal perform against that kind of stuff? Ruthless not doing too bad, my lad. I will check out the clip at the end of the show, so don't worry, I'm not ignoring it. I will be showing it off because I am really interested. But with the sheet metal does not do and realistically, it doesn't really do anything against bullets. But then again, we've got it the way explosives and bullets have base building, so at the same time it's like, well, that's ideas out the window, so who knows. But at the same time, I do think that we should add it because it is an extra level of protection to go through that.
I mean, it's all about the deflection of the bullet, changing the trajectory of it. So even if it penetrates easily, it might go to the left or right a little bit and miss you. I think that's more important if we're thinking realism, but if we look at DayZ's base building, you're totally right. Another thing, if they do fix vehicle physics, and then let's say they add in this reinforcing vehicles, they need to add in that infected and animals damage vehicles.
Yeah. Absolutely. No, I think they should.
Or at least slow them down a bit, because you can just keep going straight through vehicles and your speed is not stunted whatsoever.
But it's still a problem if your vehicle doesn't take damage from running over infected. Like, I see it all the time. People drive around in heli racks and just mow down all of the infected.
Yeah,
it's really
exactly.
not weird.
Or even military bases, they just drive through, they get somebody to get all the zombies around them, and they just drive in circles, run every single guy over.
Yeah,
exactly. So even if they're slowed down, it doesn't matter. You still have to deal damage.
Mm-hmm.
But then hear this, one thing I'd like to see, and this is something I've said a while back, is I'd like to see a way for zombies to somehow be able to damage windshields, and once windshields are damaged, they can somehow interact with the players inside the vehicles, and that would give them the ability to reintroduce the boxed windshields, and it would give players a reason to actually maintenance their vehicles and care for their windshield and stuff. Because imagine if your windshield broke and zombies just tried to were grabbing at you and trying to pull you out of your car or something like that. Imagine how crazy that would be. Like at Northwest, I'd shit my pants.
It would be pretty interesting. It would be really, really cool to see something like that. Yeah, it's just like Rapper We just said, yes, if the glass gets broken, the players can get hit. Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
I think they should be getting hit anyway, but there you go, that's just me. But
I still would like the ability to maybe go through my inventory if I'm riding shotgun in the vehicle.
Yeah.
Which they did in Reforger. They did do that in Reforger. You can even as the driver, you can go in your inventory as well. So.
Well, yeah, but that's a very different game. But yes, passengers should be able to look through their inventory.
They absolutely should. They absolutely should. Yeah.
You have no idea how many times because you have no idea how many times I had night vision on, and it's the middle of the day. I'm like, hang on, stop the car, get out, turn it off, get back in, drive off.
Yeah, it's so
wait a minute.
cumbersome.
On PC, you can turn off night vision though.
Not
but if you're in a car or a driver, you can't interact with anything. You can't go to your hotbar. You can't do any of that.
So if you push L once, you turn on and off your lights, right? In the car. If you push and hold L, it turns off your night vision on PC.
It's the same thing on console, I think, because on console you can press Y to turn on and off your lights if you have night vision or a head torch or something. So I'd say try doing that in the car wrap, because if you press Y, that does the vehicle headlights. But I'd say try holding Y and see if that would turn off your night vision.
I believe that will work because that's how I used to do it.
I'll have to double check on that because I can't remember it working, but
Well, I still want the ability to do that in my car. There.
Yeah. I mean, it's quite funny. I've always wanted, when you get in a car, the proxy for your backpack changes position, so it's on the front of your body. So that way it gives you an actual excuse to be able to check the inventory, because your bag is literally right there. You'd be like, open it up and just check it, you know?
Yeah.
Instead of the backpack clipping into the seat. You know, they've changed the proxy positions for weapons on your bag, on your back. So why can't they do that when you're in a car? Just make sure that
those aren't dynamic proxies that change depending on where you are. You know, would that be possible to do something that changes different states depending on your location?
Yes,
very easily.
It's so easy. Yeah, I do it for my flashlight. So when it's in your hand, it shows one version of the model. When it's connected to your chem light slot, it changes to the other, so it'll show forward.
Yep.
And it'll just be the same process. It'll just be two different proxies. They hide one, show the other, and that'll be it. Because considering the character model is pretty much just proxies, it'd be so easy to do. So there you go.
Now, speaking of light sources, what do you guys think about the thing they did with the weapons, where you can put a flashlight over your shoulder and the light points forward somehow?
I think that's a bug. I think that is a bug.
I don't care. It's cool. I want a shoulder-mounted flashlight.
I don't think it works properly. I think it looks terrible. I think
get a tack helmet at that point then.
Unironically, I think my mod is better than that.
You're so biased.
Yeah, what can I say?
I do agree, though. I do hope it's a bug, because that is kind of...
I think it is a bug. I think they may have forgotten something when they changed the slot around. When they changed the position of proxy. Right. They might have messed up something.
You had that issue with your flashlight, right?
Yeah, exactly. So, Rapper Weed says, broken arms need to be introduced. If you break an arm, you can't aim down the sights. While it's broken, cuts aim and accuracy while it's broken. Yes.
I think if they were to do that, they would have to completely overhaul the medical stuff. Like if you're like Dumpgrah with Project Zomboid, you can open up an entire UI to see the player with like their medical, so they can see the injuries and the different body parts. You know, if they were to do anything more, they would have to have a full kind of interactive thing where you can kind of see the different parts or where you would be injured. You know.
Yeah, I mean, it's a cool idea, and I'm all for more hardcore features, but I will have to state at the end of the day, I think that version of it would be too hardcore for the majority of the vanilla population.
Possibly.
Not being able to aim down sights would be bad. Maybe your hand jitters more. Maybe you have more sway, more recoil, stuff like that.
Like when you have cannibalism. Like when you have the Kruger virus. Yeah.
You can't block or something, right? Like those kind of things would be smarter while not taking it. Because while breaking your leg is fairly bad, I remember when they first introduced it, it was way worse. Way more realistic, but way worse. And they had to tone it down because of the negative feedback they got. Yeah.
I think if they do introduce that, it would be a simple case of like just doing the same process of getting the the sticks and the rag to create the splints, and you would just have one in your arm, and that would be it. And then when it's on, you'd still do the little shaky thing, and then obviously you'll be sorted. It should take roughly the same, if not a little bit more, like a little bit of time compared to your legs.
I'm just going to say, I just thought of a new cosmetic build. If they do that, I want you guys to break my arms and legs so I can have splints on them. Looks so badass.
Yeah. Oh my lord. But that would be a really interesting feature though, Rapper. I do think that we should add something like that, but that would come with more changes to the medical system, which I kind of agree and disagree. I think it's a good way, but I'm not too sure about that. But actually, no, I could see it working. I could actually see that working. I think that would be really, really cool. As long as
they could open up, like, say, hardcore servers, hardcore official servers.
I mean, they already have those.
It's just first-person only servers. That's it.
Like if they made it a variable in the CFG gameplay with .json, where you can enable or disable some of those options, I feel like that'd be pretty cool.
I think they should be doing that with a lot of things, to be perfectly honest. Make it easier for server
owners to configure the server. Slowly but surely, and I think it's been a big thing for console as well. They've been adding a lot of the options that you would normally do with the the or the whatever it's called.
Mhm.
What's the file called? I'm blanking on it. That
Oh,
one
it's
universal
whether
file that we
CFG
were just
gameplay.
talking about. The initc
init.c.
file. Yeah, the
Yes.
initc file. I don't know, that was just blanking on me, but they've been adding in a lot of the features from initc to the CFG gameplay so that users on console who don't have access to it can then edit those variables on their own, which I do think is very cool.
That is
Yep.
pretty cool. That is really, really nice.
Also, Forrest Gump. I think the Trello board's been abandoned for years now.
It's
Oh
just
yeah,
an archive
since
at this
since
point.
2017. Yeah.
It's just it's
That's
good
long gone.
it's good to look at though, just to see how
What could
far
have
they've
been.
come and what could have been. Yeah, but
Yeah.
That's Squatchy Yeti for the Molsk.
but yeah, I mean, but overall, I do think that we'll just have to see what 119 comes up with. If they are going to do this one as the major update for this year, I think it will be absolutely fantastic. I cannot wait to see what Dance to Jesus has come up for us, and I can't wait for the rest of the team to see what they have got going, and most importantly, what Scotty has got planned for us this year. If you're watching, mate, I'm looking at you. I'm looking at you. You're sitting there in your chair, probably. You're probably staring at us like, lad, what the hell are you doing? Stop being weird. I'm talking to you. Make something as good as last year, if not better, please. That'd be great. Thanks. J87 Games, thank you very much for coming into the show. Really appreciate it. Hope you're doing well. We're doing fantastic. But
God, he falls off the radar after Lad's threat. The DayZ community presence just recedes. We go back to the Dark Ages.
Lad single-handedly destroyed the community through cringe.
No, I
Never
think
saw
that was
him
the Happy
again.
Birthday boy he used to sing.
Oh no, I'm never fucking doing that. Swearing. Stop it.
We got to get him in here now.
No. Swear to God. But so on the agenda, Lemons, something I want to ask you is about Zagoria update.
Yes.
Yes, I do
It's
have to say
been-
something.
Oh, okay. Let's hear Wrath first. Let's see what I have to say.
My base is gone, Lemon,
Damn.
and I do not appreciate that. I worked real hard on that base.
Was the
Those
base
two
there
walls
before
took me an hour.
1.18? Oh, those...
No,
I am so sorry to knock down those two poor walls, my friend. I'll
No, I
had to-
reimburse you with a
I-
hug and a
I
pat on
had
the
to
shoulder.
Lemon, I had to make at least 20-something spears to break down someone else's wall so I could steal their stuff to make my base.
You're a trooper, man. I'll tell you that. Just make 20 more spears, man. You got it.
No.
Yeah, Raph, you could really lead the charge on this. I don't mean to poke holes in your plan here.
Wow.
For those who are listening on Spotify,
He's really spearheading it.
for those that are listening on Spotify, you can't see it, but I am in absolute disgust.
We're really sticking it to Lad.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. We're poking and prodding at him right now.
Yeah, don't poke his eye out, though.
Unfortunately, Lad isn't as sharp as us, so
Well,
He
he's
doesn't-
being
he
a
doesn't
lad
get-
on
he
the
doesn't
stick.
he doesn't-
Pull it out,
he doesn't
lad.
he doesn't get the tip. The tip of it.
I think we broke him. He really
Yeah.
splinters at these kind of jokes.
There goes all our viewers. We're at like -2 viewers right now on YouTube.
Oh,
Even
we're
the
up viewers,
bots have
actually.
Yeah.
The bots have left.
Is that what
We
we do?
really we broke Lad, man. That's not even a joke. We broke him.
So, about Zagoria.
Yep.
A
A lot of new stuff coming.
I won't lie, I've been sitting here in disgust trying to think of something to retort with, and I got nothing. I got nothing.
Yeah, but there's a lot coming to Zagoria though. I know last night we had some We had quite a conundrum because I thought that the experimental patch that we were talking about earlier had been released as stable,
Yes.
and pretty much every DZE file, once it gets changed to the new static OBJ, if you haven't changed it over, they just won't read the file. It won't open the DZE, even if you try to go through and rename the files. Because Dab, who's pretty much created the editor, he did something with the way the files save, and me and Lad figured that out, and it puts out some like encrypted mumbo jumbo now, and you try to edit them, and it's really weird.
Yeah.
And you can't properly actually edit the names of anything, and it's a bunch of like nulls and a bunch of random like spurred out stuff, but it's really weird.
Oh.
Really, really weird. Actually, you know what? I'll pull it up here. I can actually show you guys what I'm talking about. Because it's not supposed to look like what I'm about to show you. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, it's really, really
So
weird.
I'd like Dab to address it at least, because I don't know if this was intended or not, but you guys are going to see what I'm talking about here. It is quite the interesting thing. Check this out.
No, I don't think I will.
Don't
So
be a
that-
stick in the mud.
There we go. That's our saves we're looking at right now.
So he has the file itself isn't necessarily a text or editable file anymore. It's a readable file, and that's all it is. So only his program can save and write from it, as far as I understand.
Did he say why he did that?
No. I'm just going off of my own knowledge of coding and stuff.
Oh, yeah. It's weird though, because it used to be you could actually edit them and go in, and everything would be normal, like a normal file. But now it's just this beautiful mess. And even if you try, what I figured out was, even if you try to go in here and then just Control A and do a replacement on your DZE, it won't load the DZE file. It won't load it, and it'll say failed to.
Yeah, you're editing a read and write file instead of every file's a read and write file, but you're editing a sort of code. And he probably did this because it's more effective and less resource intensive to read this than it is to read a text file.
True. But I would recommend then, like, moral of the story, I'd recommend anybody, before the patch comes out, export everything you currently have as a JSON file, because then you can re-import. What?
Scotty!
Sorry, man. Scotty just literally trolled Lad.
Scotty!
Oh, wow.
What did he say?
Oh,
I'm just going to say this, and only you will understand. The thing I sent you, I never got a response back. Alright? Lad, not out. I'm still here. I'm here for like the next hour and a half. Much love
that's
to you.
awesome. That's awesome.
Bruh. Okay, and here I was worried that when we moved to YouTube that the DayZ handles would never watch. Here we are. Anyway, continue on before I fangirl out. Anyway.
That's pretty cool though. Cool stuff. Cool stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. It's weird, and unfortunately I hope he brings it back, but I'd say to everybody who uses the editor, export everything you have as a JSON file. And then you can go into the JSON file, and then you can properly edit everything and change it, because it is an actual editable file. So you can change those static things to the static OBJ. And then what the editor does is you can then re-import those object files, and then it turns it into a DZE again. So that's kind of the most straightforward way to do it right now. I'm not sure if Dab is going to make an easier method to do it, but I'd say as of right now, if you want to save your work, save your files, which I almost lost because I was like, I was freaking out. That was quite the story, but definitely do that. But on that topic,
I took sympathy.
On that topic, now that it's fixed, I can actually show it.
There you go. That's it.
There we go. So I'm gonna pull it up real quick, and I can show you guys a little teaser of the update of what we have going, because there is definitely a lot. It's
Sneak peek. I've already
quite the beefy boy.
I've already took a little quick look, but I assume you've already seen more. Gonna show more than what you saw. Shut up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean.
So we're just getting the game started right now. But for those who haven't seen the updates I put out, I know I haven't been too active on Twitter in regards to my updates, because I used to, a long time, before I was on the podcast, I used to put out these really cryptic kind of campaigns for some of the stuff for Zagoria, and it would be
Yes.
like in Morse code and stuff, and it was really, really cool. Had a lot of fun doing that. I got to start doing more stuff like that.
That'd be
I
great.
definitely got to start doing more stuff like that. But for those who haven't seen the stuff or haven't been in the loop, I decided to tackle the largest city in Chernarus, which is Cherno, or Chernogorsk, which is one of the biggest towns and one of the biggest pains in my ass to work on, if I'm being honest with you.
Yes.
It's got a lot of different slopes and all that stuff, which makes it difficult to place the grass down because it's not just a single grass asset that we're using. We have to use the actual
Yeah.
the bunker proxy. So it's interesting, I'll tell you that. But there hasn't been much new from when you saw it land, but there definitely has been a little bit.
Okay.
So I can say that for sure. I finished the wall that we were discussing.
Oh, that's good. And did it come out great? I will get to say.
Oh, it came out pretty well, but you'll see it when it comes through here.
Ooh, papa.
If it decides to load in, of course, because that's one big issue with the editor. It takes once you have those big files that have over like 3,000-4,000 objects, it takes its sweet ass time loading all that in. Yeah.
I noticed you're just sitting there and you're just like, load, please.
Just twiddling your thumbs, just hoping that eventually something happens. But it's doing its thing. It's doing its thing.
J87 Games. So have you figured out a way to taking buildings out of that already on map? So you can only do that on PC. The way that you do that is you would use the DayZ editor to remove buildings and then use the DayZ editor loader to apply those changes. Now with console, you aren't able to do that, unfortunately. You can only add. For now, maybe.
Yeah,
it would be great if that feature does come into play, but DayZ would have to come out with a vanilla way to enable that. And that would be very, very difficult to do, considering the way that you do it on PC is modded, like the whole setup is modded. So
yeah, unfortunately, but you gotta hope so. You gotta hope it might be, because I was talking to Asmodian about this recently, and the closest thing we do have to that option is just removing the building entry from the map group pause, and that of course doesn't actually affect the building. It just means the loot won't spawn in it. So we can't really do much, unfortunately, but hopefully in the future they'll give us something similar to the map group pause where we can specify buildings coordinates, and then maybe it would hide it from the map. That would be an interesting take.
Yeah.
But without any further ado, folks, I got it running. We're up here.
Watch it.
Let's see it, lad. I nearly swore again there, boy. I nearly swore that. Oh,
there we go.
Looks terrible.
Yeah, I'm throwing it out. It's game over.
Okay, that's it, Zagoria, and it's simply because I said so.
Yeah. You're coming into the quarantine zone here in Cherno. We gotta vault in here through this little crawler.
Oh, that's nice.
Check this out. This was based off of concept art from Naughty Dog when they were working on The Last of Us Part 2. So I took a page out of their book for this.
Making some cheeky looking base locations right now.
Oh yes.
Little in-tunnel bunker here. I've messed around with these before. I was working on a bunker build once a while when they first released it to experimental, like 1.18. And I had done a similar design to do it like an underground bunker that just I never fleshed it out because there's no real good locations in the map where it kind of dips down far enough. But yeah, take a look at this, and you can already kind of see what we were working on yesterday. There.
Yes.
Let's get through here. A little quarantine checkpoint here. Check that out. This is kind of the main piece for Cherno, and what's interesting with this update to Zagoria is this will be the only way people can enter in and out of Cherno.
Interesting.
It's the single point. You'll see why it's the only point pretty soon.
Also, the arrows and the writing on the roads.
Yeah, the arrow there, and you can see here there's a little bit of writing scratched out here.
Huh.
But There's a lot that I had to do. I was talking a lot about this, and when you work on that, when I was working on a build, my workflow is I like to fix the map, like fix parts that should have been fixed before, and then I start adding my own stuff. Like over here, we kind of have we have a proper bus station in here because they were working on a bus station here at one point, like a little bus depot connecting to the train, but there was never really any actual location down here for any bus area, if that makes sense. But of course, I did add that in here, and we had to make modifications to the crossing there, but the crosswalk. But yeah, oh, we're underwater. I love when it does that. But that did bring us to one of our nice locations here. This is the crashed hotel, and what's nice about this is because there's no actual interior, I can flood it with vines, and you won't be able to see it cutting through or clipping or colliding on the inside. So I was really able to go out and kind of overgrow that, and we have a proper monument here. Because I always thought there was missing something. It was missing like a little monument or some sort of kind of something,
Yes.
Now, one cool thing that we've done, and one thing that I spoke with Lad, is the kind of big thing that's coming to Zagoria is parkour. Parkour aspects are coming in. You can kind of see up there some of the cool things we have going. Now, I took a page out of Dying Light's book, or like the developers, because what they do is for each object that has like a parkour ability, they usually have spray paint or rags or something kind of signifying. Also, you kind of see there, I totally just walked all the way through that without showing off any of it. But if we go through here, you got a full kind of way to scale through the building, and these assets are going to pop up throughout the map to give players more ability to kind of just explore and do things that you probably couldn't do before. And it looks better than adding in those damn wires. And I know Dumpgrah probably appreciates that more than a bunch of wires strewn across everywhere.
It's nice.
It's a really smart way to do it.
Yeah, it is, because you're drawing their eye to it because it's out of place, or it's a color that they don't usually see, which is really smart.
Yeah, thank you. And then of course what we had here is I had to add this little water tower in here as a way to allow players to climb up, because the ladders don't currently work. You can't use them as normal ladders.
Yes.
But I took it as a chance to incorporate it into the environment of the game. So of course we have the water pipes moving through here, and we actually have it shoot out to a little water maintenance area here, which even has its own kind of step up here.
Nice.
And everything's been properly. I made sure everything has been done by the centimeter to make sure there's no clipping or no out of place stuff. But one cool thing I've added
clips through your roof
are these poles.
What clips through the roof?
I'm teasing.
I was gonna say.
Oh, yeah.
I was gonna say. Hang on a sec.
So what I've added are these pole vaults, and what this does is it allows players to vault between the buildings, and it also gives them an interaction. Because normally, if a player looked at these buildings, they wouldn't be able to see. They'd be like, I don't want to jump there. But these poles, it gives them incentive. It's the same thing with certain games when they'll put spray paint or rags or something. It kind of gives the player that kind of incentive to do it.
Yes.
And it's been made so you don't even have to jump. As long as you run across these, you can vault between the two buildings. And of course, you can jump as well if you want to. You didn't see that. You didn't see me fall there. But usually for the most part, like right, just like that. And you can run across these buildings and scale across them. Like it adds a new feature or mechanic to the game that you wouldn't have seen prior.
That's really cool. Did you know a fun fact? That if you jump with weapons in your hand, you jump further.
Really?
Yep.
Yeah.
Interesting. But yeah, so these are gonna be popping up around Zagoria, and it'll give players they're just pole vaults, and it gives them a chance to do and explore areas they couldn't do before, So
anyway, every time
I know
you
a
jump
lot of
across
people.
the top one, I'm so afraid you're gonna break your leg.
Same here.
I love it.
You're making this town, you're making the city a lot more dangerous than it needs to be, and I love it.
Oh yeah, let's take a look down at the drop there.
Run across the looking down. We want to see it in its glory.
Ooh.
Oh yeah.
See, at least
so a lot of these
like
are
some
popping
range.
up.
You got a little bit of distance there.
Oh, that was a close one. That was a close one. I'd love to see a mod where we could place garbage canisters and people could just jump down and land in those garbage containers and then have it break
What-
their fall and have like an animation or
What
something
is
for
this? Assassin's Creed. Shut up.
Or
Playing a-
Dynamite.
Playing an eagle sound as you're doing it. Yeah, okay.
Oh yeah,
Project Clemens,
that's how it is,
I'll
man.
make you that mod if you promise that I can also make it so people can attach grenades to those to trap people.
100%.
Oh, mate, I would
100%.
just be an arsehole and put a tripwire across it so when you try and jump, you stumble.
There you go.
Speaking of
Yeah, so that's-
tripwires,
Yeah.
I was thinking in like probably later down the line, they probably could add more traps into the game. Like for example, this is a real life trap. It's called a shotgun trap. It's basically like a
Yes.
shotgun round where you can place it down. And it can act as one of two ways. You can act as
Alarm
you get
system.
shot in the leg and it breaks, and an alarm system as well.
Yeah, I know a lot of hunters use those.
I feel the shotgun one should be for offensive, but I think smaller calibers like 22 should be used for alarm.
Yeah. Well, it's something that hunters use, and they'll hook it up around the perimeter of a camp, and then when it gets set off and tripped, it'll put the round off. And usually
Yes.
people will use blanks for them because if you were to use like an actual full 12 gauge shot, it would tear the entire housing apart. But I've seen a lot of people they'll use just 12 gauge blanks for it,
Yeah.
Mm.
and it just works as a way to kind of signal if there's someone in a perimeter. Now, one thing I want to say real quick, I know Scotty's watching, but in case anyone else is watching, they need to add a damn monument here. Believe it or not, this monument was not here before. It was just they had this entire beautifully placed kind of these little notches here,
Yes.
signifying that you probably see something here, but it was just grass. It was nothing. So what I did with this update that I've been working on, there's still a lot of work I have to do, man. It's a big town. It's a big town, I'll tell you that. But what I did is I ended up adding just a proper monument here in Town Hall because it just looks so much better having that lay in front of the city hall like that,
Yeah.
And then of course, and when we go around to the front, you can see here that we have the plaque. And
Yes,
then one thing
yeah.
I did too, it was a small feature, and this is a feature that I'd love to see DOJ add in, is having these proper sidewalks here connecting to like the fountains and these little postage boards because they don't actually have these. For some reason, with the original version, these are just sticking in the grass. There's no real proper thing sticking out for them, like
Yeah, it's really
any
weird.
concrete support or anything. And so what I've done is I've added the proper like sidewalks that shoot out.
Yeah.
And it just, I don't know. It's
That's
the
such-
small things like that, that just make it look so much better.
Uh-huh.
Gonna laugh when they update it again and they put another like a monument that's like 3 times bigger and it has like a little thing off to the side that says "F-U lemon."
Yeah, there you go. There you go. But yeah, that's pretty much the majority of it. The last place I'd like to show off would be the one place I was talking to you about, lad, which is the train split.
Right.
Oh my lord,
Where are you?
that's a great
Just
question.
teleported in the middle of the ocean.
Yep. I'm gonna find the area here, and I can just teleport us there. There we go. So this was a cool. Oh my, we're swimming.
It happens.
Okay, it doesn't matter. We're just gonna swim through here. So one cool feature I added in, or you know what? I'm gonna fix the issue. I'm gonna fix this real quick because what you can do is you can just kind of swim out, and then once we go out of the water, we're falling again. And now we can go like this, teleport them back. Apologies for the technical difficulties here, folks.
No, that's fine.
There we
Oh,
go.
Lord.
We're back in business. We're back in business. So this was a cool thing I saw on Essiker, and what they did is they placed it not exactly like this, but they had placed vehicles on like an interstate, and you couldn't actually pass through them. You had to go through a transit bus because everything was blocked by traffic, and it was like a down tree with a power line or something.
Yeah.
So I took a similar approach here, and players have multiple ways to go through. They can go through the back alleys of these houses if they want a different route, of course, like you have over there. You can get out, but for this, it's walled off, and to get through the area, you actually have to run through this bus here. And I think it's just an awesome option because it forces a choke point, but it feels cool, kind of having to maneuver through a claustrophobic space like that. Like I just think something about that's pretty cool. Like imagine being chased by people and you're taking cover in here and just running out and returning fire or whatever. But
Yeah.
I made sure to do it in a proper area too, because when you're doing stuff for like map design or anything like or environment art, you want to give people multiple ways to get around like an obstacle. So of course you have this road that shoots off this way, and you have the backyards over here that you can go through. So I've made sure to give players multiple options, and it's something you really have to think about when you're doing like high quality or high level environment design. It's like you can see it in games like Call of Duty, or like the more competitive games where they really have to kind of concentrate heavily on that.
Yeah.
But but to wrap things up, I will show you the really cool thing about this map, and it's something that Lad knows for sure, because I was working with Lad on this. But oh my lord, there we go. Cherno actually has a proper quarantine wall, which ties into this kind of quarantine entrance here. Because you think, oh, it might just be this part here, this little portion here, but no. Let's go for a walk here, folks. Let's go for a little stroll in the park.
A little wander down memory lane. Oh.
Check this out. Now, this was based off of the quarantine wall from Haran in Dying Light 1. And they had it so the entire city of Haran was completely blocked off with these walls. And one thing you'll notice too is I did a cool detail for one of the walls specifically to show that they were being like, these aren't just random walls that were thrown up, they're actually being constructed. And so if we go here, we can follow the walls down, and I swear to God, if they throw me in the water again, I'm gonna cry. Come on, there we go. How do I end up here? How do I end up here? Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. We can see the walls go off into the water there. And this is like this is the quarantine zone. Oh my God, we're getting stuck on everything, folks. We're getting stuck on everything. But the cool thing they added in is right over here. You can see some of the walls are still being worked
sick.
on before the outbreak.
Very nice.
Oh, that's sick, dude.
See, still there's like rebar and poles that are being exposed still. And if we go on the other side, you can see there's a bulldozer here doing work, and then we have the full scaffolding. So if players wanted to get up here, it gives them multiple uses. It's used as an art piece, and it's used, but it's also used as a game piece or gameplay piece, because players can just go like this and go right into the quarantine zone.
So there's 2 ways in.
Technically, yes. There's one like official way, but this if a player has a good good ingenuity, and they know their maps, and they have good street smarts and stuff, they could kind of make their way through here as well. But
nice. I like that.
That's actually sick. That's fantastic.
Thank you. But unfortunately, though, that is all I have to show for now. There's a lot of stuff I have to do still, and there's a lot of stuff that I can't show yet because it would spoil some of the other stuff that I've added in, some of the big things I'll be releasing soon. So I'd say get ready, guys, because there is a lot coming for Zagoria.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Now, fun follow-up question. How are you going to make people want to go into this area?
It's got different loot here. So I've made my own unique tag, like the one they use for the new items, that has certain items that spawn in here. Another thing I did as well is there's humanitarian care packages that use the new CFG event groups file that have a chance of dropping in this quarantined off city.
Very nice. Very nice.
So it's a high risk, high reward situation because this will be one of the most densely populated areas for infected. But when you go in here, there's a chance you could walk out with some decent loot.
That's pretty smart. Gives more people an incentive as well to lock it down.
Exactly.
Should be really cool to actually.
And with the parkour aspects intertwined with that, you can only imagine the PvP and interactions you'll be experiencing with that.
Absolutely. I need
well,
to.
That's all for now.
It has been an honor. I have to head to work.
Yeah, no, Wrath, it's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you very much for coming on, even as a little impromptu guest. I really do appreciate it. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day, and honestly, I think we'll have to get you on the show.
So, lad, before I go, I will say
swear
this:
to God, if
for
you're gonna...
no, well, kind of, but no. For every update from here on out that does not include the Red 9, I will personally send you a picture in game of me playing DayZ with crates spelling out no Red 9.
What?
All right, yeah, you lost your opportunity to go on the podcast. You're done. It's game over.
That's it. So I'm gonna ban this guy called Wrath, right?
Get them stoned in the public square.
Jesus
That's a bit
Christ.
extreme.
That's
Like every single time that you suggest, like, oh, maybe it's going to be in this update and it doesn't come out, I will have a unique picture of no Red 9 spelled out in crates.
oh Lord.
You need to end this, Scotty. You need to end this quarrel once and for all.
Please, for the love of God.
We don't see Scotty. Is Lad's eyes twitching nowadays? Every time somebody brings it up, it's getting worse.
Yep.
Exactly.
Where's my fucking Red 9, Scotty?
It's like, give us the Red 9. I demand it be called the Lad 9 or the No 9.
No, somebody's recommended they add it like that, and I'm like, no, please, no. Although if
Do
my
it.
legacy ends up turning out to be the Lad 9, a custom 9mm C96 Mauser, I'll be like, you know what, fam? You know what? Let's go for it then. I swear to God.
Okay, I'm sorry, but I just saw something in chat that was pretty funny. It was from Attrition.
Yes.
And he said me already struggling with a pure PS4 just lit a cigarette with it, expecting the pain this is gonna inflict upon it when I release the Cherno update.
Oh God, that's gonna be rough. That is gonna be rough. Right.
Oh
Raph,
man.
All right.
as always.
But
it's been a
anyway, guys,
pleasure.
I will see you guys later.
Take care of yourself, mate. You have a good day.
No shameless promotions coming from me, but I'll see you guys later.
Take care, man. Have a good one. Right, and I will be right back. I'm going to blow my nose and I'm going to get a drink. So, you guys, an interesting topic that I wanted to discuss last weekend because it was kind of like all the craze. The Memento Mori server, the permadeath one. I don't think it's a good idea. I'll leave you with that one.
All right, so hear me out, Dumpgrah. I want you to listen to my take on this.
Oh, thank you
I
very
think
much
it's
for the donation, Melbourne. Appreciate it.
Oh, let me see this. Oh wow, thank you so much, man. Thank you so much for the super chat. Thank you very much. But hear me out. I don't know. I like the server on one hand. It's a fun concept. It's a fun thing I would do every once in a while. You gotta let me finish though. You gotta let me get through it before you get the pain. Yeah. It's fun. Don't get me wrong. I would play that once, have a fun time on it, and then never touch it again. Like it's like when your grandma gives you like one of those off-brand Nintendo clones. You play it for a day, like the 1 in 100 games. You play it for a day, and you never touch it until you're packing to move out of your house, and you put it in a box. You're like, I want to play with that again. You know, that's the same thing with the server. You pick it up once. You're picking up grandma's console once to play it, and you never touch it again. You know, that's the server. Unfortunately, as fun as a concept it is, I don't know. I couldn't see it being a long-term thing, and even for their way to pay back, I don't like the idea of having a pay-to-play model. I'm not a fan of that.
So every 2 weeks, you can play again. I do want to get back. I do want to wait for Lad to get back to see what Lad has to say about it, because I do have quite a spiel about it, because I have interesting thoughts about it, but I also have very strong emotions about it.
One thing I'm against. Yes, one thing I'm against with it is it does directly go in against the monetization guidelines that were put in place.
Yeah, I know. I spoke about it quite in depth in our little podcast
when the owner was addressed by Boydie about it, he just shrugged it off and he said, "Well, everyone else does it, so what makes me not be able to do it?" And I think that's a bad mentality to follow, because all that's going to do.
After a little bit more pressure, he is filing for proper monetization and stuff. So let's give him credit for that.
Okay. Yes. Good. That's good then. But the only issue is, for people who saw that just encourages more people to follow that kind of guideline. And it's something that's very bad on console, where we deal with a lot of kind of below under the table type stuff. You know, not like below board. We deal with a lot of below board things when it comes to monetization on console. And I'd like to make a video, just like a documentary style, like kind of slam sort of video, just showing off this kind of stuff. Like not bringing any names to the servers or anything, but you can join some servers and you have to pay $25 Canadian to drive a vehicle or you get banned.
Okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
I get it. I get it.
Or even the servers on console. I know people in chat. You guys can agree with me on this. Some of the prices that people charge you to buy NPCs is ridiculous because there will be servers where you can buy NPC kits where they make an event and they spawn in one of the survivors and they put like guns and plate carriers and stuff on the character that you can kill and then take all the items off them. And I've seen some servers where it can go up to like $30 a kit. And real money, might I add. Not in-game currency or anything. Real money. Like $30 American per NPC. And people do it. People buy these kits and use real money to get these kits. And I'm like, what? Really? I know. I mean, I guess it's profitable, you know? People will profit on it and they want to make it a profitable return because they're spending so much money for Nitrado. And that's the issue. It forces them to do that kind of stuff because if they don't find a source of money, their server's going to go down, you know? So, but I wish that DayZ as a whole was a bit more, did more with their monetization thing because it's already hard enough to get access to that page. Like you have to jump through hoops to get onto their monetization page for DayZ, and it's not something that's publicly available really to players to find, and people just don't really know about it. Most of the people I spoke about said there's a monetization policy, you know, like yeah.
Let's go back to the server. I know that this upsets you quite a bit.
Yeah, I know.
Let's focus on the server. I'm gonna wait for Lad's opinion on it, and then I'll state what I have to say about it because I did look into this quite a bit.
See, that's my face. That's my face that Lad's doing right now. He can feel it.
I honestly don't know what I missed. All I'm seeing is chat. And by the way, thank you very much, Melbourne, for the $1.99 super chat. Much love. Then I saw Boydie saying, getting off track here to BH. This is just the server question. What you're discussing is a real issue. Let me guess the monetization that they were doing. Yep. Let's get back in the server.
Yep. Let's hear what you have to say, Lad, because I have a pretty good spiel on this.
I think they should apply for monetization, to be honest.
Is that it?
That's it. Well, it's not. Right. That's it, but...
So, the servers...
I want to talk about the concept, not the monetization. I think the concept of a permadeath server in the way that they were doing is unique. Not my cup of tea, though. I think DayZ, the way that it functions, is a core mechanic in a core way, suffices enough. I don't feel that they need to go the extra level, the extra step to do a temporary ban until next wipe or 2 weeks or whatever it was. Although I did watch Geckofish's video on it, and it looked like him and Fish had a lot of fun. And you know what? You know, the streamers at the end of the day, they need to try and play on like different servers that bring different unique experiences, and they certainly achieved it that way. I really enjoyed the video. But would I go out my way to play on a type of server like that? No. DayZ is not the best game to do that, considering you can die even from a bug. And if it's like, it doesn't matter what kind of death you get, you're out. So, yeah, it is what it is. I'm not too sure. In fact, I'm going to quickly double check, because the last time I checked, the server's actually gone. But I will... No, it's still back. No, it's still here. So 6 out of 30 right now. 1 life, 0 respawns. It's a fantastic concept, and you know what? I'm pretty sure it does have a dedicated fan player base. I'm pretty sure it does. I don't know how long exactly it's been going on for. The monetization model since... Okay, I'll backtrack. I will talk about it briefly. I don't think it's a good idea. Because at that point, if you're paying a server just to get back in after you died, just play on a normal server. Like, you're wasting your money at that point. But can I have a go at the people that do the monetization? Yes and no. Yes, because they, as far as I'm aware, they didn't apply for monetization in accordance to BI's rules. Can I blame them?
About it.
They, pardon, sorry.
Yeah, some people don't even know about it.
Well, to be fair,
But ignorance isn't an excuse.
It's not. It's absolutely not. But I do think that if they did apply for BI, like the monetization, they got accepted. Who am I to say? You know.
Oh, of course. The problem isn't that they may be accepted. If they were accepted, who cares? But the problem is they weren't accepted. And when they were asked about it, they said, "Who cares?"
Yeah. So, obviously, the podcast isn't designed to direct anything towards anybody. So I do hope that people in chat, if you do watch the show, you don't go out and attack or shit on servers or people, streamers, or anybody else.
Yeah. Because it's something that just needs to be tackled at a whole scale, not like a person by person, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
Because that's not going to solve anything.
No. But
fun times, eh?
Fun times. I'm just reading chat, Forrest Gump. I just need to ask, is giving players 5 teleports a day if they pay monthly break TOS? And if it does, in what way does it if it's not looked at as an advantage? Of course, thinking of the situation. It does. So it's not. It does. So as part of the monetization model that BI has for DayZ, I'm pretty sure it extends to Arma 3, but we'll just talk about DayZ specifically. You cannot pay any money towards a server to get an advantage over another player. And you also, well, it's a bit of a grey area. You also cannot charge players to access your server. Now, it's a bit of a grey area if it's like, if they're playing the server then they die, can you charge them to come back in? Yeah, it's a bit of a weird one. But for that question, no, that does break 2S. But
BI's rules do address that. BI states that you can charge people to have access to your server as long as another server of the same rule set and details for free exists. It states that right in their monetization rules.
Mm-hmm.
So technically, yes, you can't charge people to have access to your server. You just have to have an equal server for free.
Yeah. And at that point, then what's the point? Like, yeah, it's so weird. But I did want to touch on the topic because a lot of people were talking about it last week. And obviously we didn't have the show last week, otherwise we would have addressed it by now. It's probably a dead topic at this point, but still, we have a right to discuss that. Lemons, you've been quiet since I got back, but I assume you had a discussion with Dump when I left.
I had a hot take, I'll tell you that. I had a hot take. We were we kind of spiraled off when we were talking in general about all servers and the fact that they need to kind of smarten up with their monetization, because there's a lot of people that are kind of using the mentality of, well, if he's doing it, I can do it too, and now it just kind of starts snowballing to an unproportional amount. But
yeah, no, exactly.
What are you gonna do? You know.
Well, that's it. Yeah. All you can do is you can just enforce it yourself. And
that's what matters, you know. As long as you can enforce, you know, you can only hope that people see that and follow you, you know.
Well, that's it. Exactly.
Or just bring attention to it.
Or bring attention to it. Yeah.
And that's what we're doing here.
Yeah.
Pointy.
Dom used to be a server owner. I'm pretty sure he knows the TOS inside and out. But anyway, let's move on from that topic, because it can be its own episode pretty much. It can be very long. It actually could. I think it's a good idea that somebody, ourselves or maybe somebody else who has more of a legal mindset, can go through the TOS to actually explain it. I know on the DayZ Modders Discord, now the Enfusion Modders Discord, has an entire section regarding legal. and it's usually people talking about mods getting DMCA'd and whatnot, asking about their rights. But there are a few people who ask about TOS, so I think it would be a good idea if we go in for an episode dedicated to going through, reviewing, talk to people, and go through there. Jacob, thank you very much for the $6.66. Pardon me, the 66 cents. The sneaky snake comes for the Lord of...
Bro.
I don't want to...
They have fixed barrels. Thank you for the donations. They have fixed barrels.
They fixed barrels. I just realised who sent that donation, and I'm glad I didn't read the rest. So... F you. But thank you very much for the donation. Much love to you, my dude. Hope you're having a good day. But yeah, so but we will actually discuss that at length, if full, once we can collate as much information. In fact, I'll quickly spiral a little bit. I'll quickly go off topic. We recently had a bunch of comments and words about why we cut off topics sometimes, and I've said it in a comment, but I'll repeat it here, and I'm pretty sure Lemons and Dump, you can agree with me. The reason why I cut off topics, especially if it's one that isn't organised on the agenda, is because I don't know enough information about it. I don't want to, in good faith, discuss a topic I don't know anything about, unless Dump and Lemons know something about it, and then they can discuss it, until I have enough information about it to form an opinion. An informed opinion. I think as a podcast we have a duty to make sure that the information we talk about is accurate as possible, and go on from there. Just wanted to quickly say that, just in case anybody asks any more. People probably will, but I still wanted to just be like, hey, by the way, this is why. Love you. Anyway. Oh my god, I recently had a cold. I'm still got it, and now it's gone up my chest. I feel like crap. One thing I noticed, a lot of streamers are starting to play DayZ again. I noticed Summit 1G came back. He put out a tweet, which I thought was really, really cool, really interesting. See if I can find it again. I've probably closed the flippin' tweet. Yeah, I've closed the tweet again. God, I'm so smart. But it was from Summit 1G, and he was basically saying, in fact, no, I'm actually going to... No, no, boy, you must silence your voice, you naughty boy. But yeah, so Summit came up with a tweet on June the 13th. Again, this is a topic for last week, but I still wanted to cover it because it's still really cool to me. It's really interesting. DayZ is unmatched when it comes to just an adventure. I went the entire day not shooting a single bullet until the end of the night. Made it all worth it. Accidentally shot my teammate and called it a night. But it was a cool ass day. And you know what? Who hasn't shot their own teammate? Who hasn't? It's only going to get worse with the grenade launcher.
Well,
we notice you, Boydie. We notice you. But a lot of streamers, I noticed, I can't remember the name for the life of me, but I noticed a GTA 5 streamer started playing DayZ. I think this streamed with Summit. And, they've been getting a little bit of notice in the DayZ community. I think it's actually given rise to a lot of the servers. There's been a lot of servers, well, a few, coming out that rival Day 1. Which is weird to me, actually. I do not understand the concept of a streamer server. What are your guys' thoughts?
They're tailored for a specific audience, I can see why they make sense, and even I would consider that one live server to be a streamer server because it's they're tailored to give content to the creators.
Yes.
You know, that's why they're not meant to be long term. You survive for a long time, but they've been made specifically to give good content for creators. And a lot of the time, then their viewers join, and that's what keeps the servers going for a lot of the time.
Mm-hmm.
And they live pretty much off these streamers bringing in themselves, bringing their audience in, and that's kind of how it goes. You know,
Yeah.
for PC and Xbox, Xbox and PlayStation, but
Yeah, who
Yeah.
cares about PlayStation? No, but that I suppose when you put it that way, I can kind of understand. Yeah, because you know, you watch a streamer play in a particular server. Obviously, it's catered towards like the kind of stuff they want to do, and you know, if players want to get involved, then I suppose they do have the right to do that. Stream sniping will obviously be an issue, but I think that would depend on not only the streamer with how they actually do the stream, but also the admin team. But then again, you're going to have a really, really, really active admin team to monitor that kind of stuff. But then it kind of like, to me, it kind of comes to line. It's like, if you have an active admin team that just cover the streamers, does favoritism get involved? Or is this going to be the kind of server where, as you say, it is specifically designed for the streamer? And then you expect
and then
that.
what happens to the base player, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Even going back to going back to Dino Island, I would consider that to be a streamer experience. You know? Because there wasn't really base building on there. They were done specifically to give people new content, new fun things to do. And I think that's the end of it, you know, and that you saw so many people making that stuff. And unfortunately with streamer servers, or like quote unquote streamer servers, once the streamers leave, the server's probably gonna go down pretty soon after. Like how many Dino Island servers are up anymore, you know?
To be honest, I thought the whole project died.
Exactly.
The initial... See, that's the problem as well with streamer servers, is that they do die out relatively quickly compared to an average DayZ server. Which
it's a flash in the pan. They get tons of people, high pop, they get a queue, they have people coming in, and then the second that streamer's out, you can kind of bet on the fact, you know. Even for my server, like for Zagoria on console, it's the same sort of thing. We're usually pretty low pop, and the only time that we get like a queue is when we have streamers coming in, because it's just kind of, that's just the way it is, you know.
And that's, I suppose that is one of the unfortunate realities of like a streamer playing DayZ, is that it's both a pro and a con. I think one of the few exceptions is Rearmed. Mark's done a video on it. He's streamed on it. Quite a few people have. And it's one of the most popular servers, most successful, which is great.
There's a reason for that.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's a unique... Not only does it's it's a unique server that more than likely does cater to the content creator, the streamer, but it brings in enough content that keeps in the base player base, like the player base, the average player, keeps them interested.
Definitely.
And I think if more servers go through that route, you know, maybe they discuss stuff with the streamer that the server's based for, or just trying to capture. And it's like, okay, we've got your guys' attention. What do you think would be more beneficial for the players? Like the average player, the average Joe who just wants to come in this server and play. Then you have to come up with ways to keep that player in. Because at the end of the day, you can't run a successful server if nobody plays it.
Yeah.
But
I think my bad.
But again, it all comes down to how unique it is, but more importantly, who plays it. Marks does some phenomenal videos, and he's streamed on quite a few servers, and he's shown time and time again he's played on a server and it maxes out. I think it was the old school DayZ server. He was playing on it and it maxed out. Not saying it was purely because of him, because a few other content creators went on it, but
just like Yiprit.
Yeah, just say Yiprit.
Yeah.
I mean, it's horrible for me to say, but I still haven't touched that mod. I haven't touched it. I don't know why. I think it's just lack of time. But Mark's played on it, and as far as I'm aware, he enjoyed it. And a lot of people got the attention of it. You know, that they were like, Yiprit, I want to play Yiprit. They want to try it out. And it's like, you know what? Props to them. another comment that I find funny is that when people like they shit on the streamers for doing what they do, right? They shit on them because it's like, whatever reason. But they're still in the community. They're creating content like anybody else. And they make successful content. And if they play on a server that is interesting for them, and they enjoy it, they advertise it, what do you expect to happen? Nobody to play on it. Like...
Yeah. That's not a successful business model for them or the server.
Yeah. Let them
So
get on with
one
it.
thing I'd like to bring up, because I brought up Yiprit recently, is their permanent invite link to the Yiprit community server is no longer working. It's now expired.
Oh,
So I wonder if they are still doing it or what's going on with that, because they were really going hard, but I think recently it's been pretty quiet.
Yeah. Map development can be. If somebody is already in the Discord, try and bring that up. Or if you can get a reason to say, if developments slow down or anything like that, give us a shout, let us know. I'll be more than happy to cover it, because even though I haven't played it, with other modded maps, IsTech, Banov, DRL, we've all covered it. We've all talked about it. Yiprit will be the same. And, I want to be able to actually take it in and have a look and be a dick about it.
Yeah.
So this is all a very interesting concept. And one of the things that I would probably say to most server owners who are looking out there listening to this, or seeing the popularity of servers that people have streamed and suddenly became blown overnight, is the difference between Rearmed and most of these servers and Day One is they made a server for the community, and then the streamers wish to play on it, not the other way around. If you make a server for streamers to play on it, and you let the streamers directly influence your server so much that it tailors to them and not your core audience,
that's where
your server's just going to die.
Yeah. And that's where server owners... Yeah, that's where server owners need to have a bit of a backbone. But yes, you bring players to our server, but you do not run this server. We do. We're willing to take your ideas in and contemplate them, but just because you said it doesn't mean it's accepted. It's the same way of a job.
Be responsive, not reactive.
Yeah, exactly. But and it's quite funny because I've seen a discussion where it's what makes Day One unique?
Nothing.
Great
Absolutely
admin. Nothing.
Great admin team.
Oh, you're fantastic. Yeah,
consistency. They're always up. They have tons of interactions, word of mouth. Even if you're not looking at streamers, go on Reddit. You'll see the majority of the posts are coming from people who play on Day One. All these things matter.
Heck, even I played on the Day One the Mosque server once.
It's gonna blow up now. It's just gonna go overboard. There'll be 2 million people waiting in queue.
We'll see. That one entire session was kind of like the cumulative of maybe 8 or 9 sessions, and I've never been on there ever since. That was a long session. I'm never doing that again.
Is that your 24-hour stream?
Unfortunately, yes. But this streamers can be difficult, but it all comes down to if a server owner and a streamer can understand each other and can level with each other. If one or the other party can't get on that same level, then it's bound to fail. You got to have that mutual respect. And I know it's hard for some people, but be adults about it. Don't be a git. Okay?
So confused who he's talking to.
Don't be a git. But anyway.
Yeah, it's really a good point. Recently, Mark's talked to me about the Genesis servers. In a personal call. Gave me, I think, over 13 points of feedback. And you know what Mark's expected at the end of the phone call? Or the Discord call? Just for the owners to look at it. That's all he expected. And I gave the feedback as was. I even showed Mark's what I typed up, and he was very excited to see what they said, but he didn't expect them to take any of the feedback.
And that's it.
It was
And you
awesome.
got to have that respect, and you've also got to have that for any kind of project. In Lemons, you've been kind of a prime example for that with this recent update as well. You've discussed things with the developers, I believe. You've typed up a very respectful post to them, and they actually took it in, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's
So
it.
I always say that to people. Whenever I get a chance to talk about it, I always tell people, there's no one really just tries to. No one thinks about it. If you were to reach out to them and just give them a solid thing addressing what the issue is, how they can fix it, and what you can do to contribute to fixing it, there's no reason why they wouldn't acknowledge it. But unfortunately, a lot of people, they're very passionate about the game, but they don't say the right words, especially if you look at some of the
Yes.
stuff that's said on Twitter about the game. A lot of those people, you can see at their core, they're very passionate about the game. They just want to see it succeed.
But they
But
just
it's
go
just
about it the
making
wrong way.
sure you're choosing you have to choose the right things to say, and saying bad things towards the game that isn't going to fix issues. If
If
anything,
anything.
it's going to just deter the developers from wanting to do it, for any game,
Yes.
and it's for a lot of indie studios if they got hate, that's killed games before in the past, so
Look at
you have to
Fizz.
make sure that you're being mindful. You have to be mindful of what you say to the developers, because they're ultimately the people that are making the game for us,
Mhm.
not
I
us.
totally agree.
So-
There's a huge difference between criticism and constructive criticism. Just
Absolutely.
remember that when you give it back.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And it's quite interesting because on Twitter, in one of my feeds, I've seen posts from game developers, both in the industry and indie, and people, who's just starting the process. And one of them, which actually it got to us a little bit there. It's like, if you think you're unhappy with a feature for a game, how do you think we feel? And it's like, all the people that, say threats and death threats and what just happened with Sean Murray, No Man's Sky. Look at that game now. All it needs is time.
Exactly.
You got to give it time, and people need to remember that the person on the other side of the screen is another person. They have emotions and feelings and memories and families like you. You got to
Absolutely.
you got to have that respect. I know it's very hard to ask for, and I'm being very naive in suggesting it, but like I said before, don't be a git. So anyway,
What he said.
what
What he said.
Yeah, what he said with the zoomed in camera.
yes, but going back
Exactly,
to,
Boydie. Just be an Asmodean, do that stuff, because that's the kind of stuff that gets attention. Not yelling at people on Twitter saying that they are gonna go into their backyard and start screaming and shouting at them until they add black plate carriers. Go on to make a proper thing like Asmodean, because a lot of the stuff, we did a stream where we compared it, and a lot of the stuff that was added in looked very similar
yes,
to what Asmodean suggested
Yeah,
is quality of life
about that.
stuff. So
Actually, I remember us telling people that's one of the ways to do it.
absolutely,
To offer
Mhm.
proper feedback.
be Asmodean, folks.
be Asmodean. Yeah,
At least
you know
take a
what?
page.
There you go.
You know what it is? He's such a cool guy. He's an absolutely amazing person, and I'm surprised he hasn't got more attention than he has. But he's getting up there. He's getting up there, and you know what?
Slowly but surely.
Props to him. Absolutely props to him. Oh, my bloody chest. I'm definitely getting a chest infection now. Either that or COVID's come back. COVID 2 Electric Boogaloo.
Fingers crossed.
But one thing I just want to quickly check on, talk about, because it is in the agenda. Steam achievements, they're here. You can't get them on modded servers. Who cares about them now?
I'm happy they're not on modded servers.
Oh no,
really
I
am.
absolutely am. Don't get us wrong, I absolutely am. It's a good way that they've done it.
I saw somebody get mad about that. I'm all like, why? Any other game you play out there, Skyrim, Fallout, you name it, you can't get achievements through modded games.
It's even funny because it even stems back to older games and the older generations. It's like if you use cheats in games, you can't get any achievements, you can't get any trophies, you can't get any unlockables because you cheated at the game. And you know what? That's fair enough. But yeah, you playing on a modded server, obviously it's not exactly cheating, but you can join any kind of server that can help you boost your levels to make sure that you achieve all of those achievements. And it's like, yeah, fair enough. So obviously Steam achievements have been added. I do
have a question though.
What?
It's more or less for the DayZ devs if they're watching. Can we get the modders get the opportunity to make our own achievement system?
Dude, that would be so fucking sick.
Imagine that.
Oh, dude, that would be sick.
Firing up my smelter for the first time, getting an achievement like that, being all like smelter god or whatever. I don't know. Or shooting your first shade tack mass.
I do want to say something funny though about the achievements.
Mm.
Those achievements that we saw on Steam have been the ones that were we're on Xbox since 2018.
Yeah, which is quite funny actually.
And one thing that's always been a thing for Xbox people is we wanted more achievements because we've had them for a while, you know, and a lot of them are very easy to do. So it would be nice if we had more late game achievements that we could accomplish because a lot of them are just so easy and basic where you get them out and done in less than a week if you're playing the game consistently, and then there's nothing else to do. But at least if you had achievements, it would kind of push you to do more stuff in the game, you know?
Well, I can imagine some of them would be like, build 10 walls, build 100 walls, build 200 walls, build
I wish they had stuff
walls.
like that, you know?
Yeah.
I wish they had stuff like that.
And then, you know, kill X amount of people with one grenade or...
Go into a contaminated zone for the first time.
Exactly.
I'm seeing here they have what's called like close and personal, kill 15 people, survivors with a melee weapon. And then they have lobotomy, which is kill 20 survivors or infected with a headshot. Why does it have to be infected? Why can't it be a lobotomy of 20 survivors? Like, that'd be pretty hard to do, like within the first couple months.
Yeah, because it's so easy to do with infected. Just get one horde sorted, just climb on top of a container, you'll be fine. But it's strange because it's like Steam achievements, they're such a small thing really, but they really are. But I feel dirty knowing that I have over 4,500 hours in the game and I don't have a single achievement. I feel dirty.
Wait a minute, how dirty should I feel?
You get better, lad. Come on, you should have these achievements ready, man.
I know I should get good, shouldn't I?
If it makes you feel a lot better, lad, I have easily over 8,000 hours and I have no achievements.
Now, one thing I'm curious about is, can you get these achievements using something like the DayZ editor?
Probably not. It's a mod.
Yeah, probably.
True.
Not.
True.
Checks to see if you're on one of the official servers.
So,
yeah,
that's what I was going to say. It has to be an official server, which I'm pretty sure is just like authentication with Steam itself.
Yeah.
Oh, boy can dream.
That they can.
When you wish upon a star, infecteds know where you are.
Absolutely.
But I think it would be really interesting if we did have more achievements, or if modders could create their own achievement page that can go on the workshop page. That'd be so sick.
Like an achievement tree.
That would be so fucking
I mean,
sick.
honestly, Boydie, if they got rid of them tomorrow, I wouldn't care.
Oh yes, but it's a nice little thing that we've got for PC players to actually feel like they've achieved something a bit more on DayZ and have something official there. That's great. But I think we need more. I think the 13 doesn't suffice. But I do think that we should have some hidden achievements.
That'd be cool.
Secret ones. Yeah.
We should have an achievement that awards you when you go to Debug Island and you swim
cool.
there.
I'm not sure if you can swim there on official servers. I think you'll die. You'll never get there.
Get good.
Just like swimming.
It's been done once on Xbox and it's been recorded. Someone did actually swim all the way to Debug Island, and they had blinking red health, but they made it there.
And died on getting there.
Yes.
Oh man.
But it is possible if you have the stones to do it, the stones and the time, because that must have been at least over an hour. Over an hour.
It is easily.
Yeah.
It must be. It must be.
One of those things where you like take your thing to go forward and you walk away.
Yeah.
But I do think they are a good idea. I actually do think that the Steam achievements, as much as I don't really care for achievements, I think they're a great idea. I think it's a good way for players to actually have something to work towards. And if they do allow modders to do it, it gives them an extra level of detail to see what they can do with the mod.
It'd also be a great path for like more complex, like bias wise, my own. Giving people like a path to follow.
Well, that's it.
Yeah.
It's like there's so many different ways you can utilize them. Hopefully, we'll get the ability to.
So I've got the time here, folks. Yeah, no, go ahead.
I was gonna say my last idea for a secret achievement is getting stuck in a dynamic gas zone and surviving the gas zone and like having to like fully cure yourself. That would be an epic one.
Without the use of NBC.
Exactly.
Yep.
Yeah. I've got the time here for the person who swam to Debug Island. It was 1 hour and 45 minutes.
Oh.
Damn.
I'd stick a film on doing that.
Yep. He made a full thing documenting the entire experience. It says here at around the an hour and a half mark, you should begin seeing the underwater mountain. He did a full like BBC exhibition of it.
Oh, dude.
That's awesome.
You gotta post that link in YouTube. In fact, I'm not too sure if it's been done yet or not, but Boydie, once the show is over, can you set up moderator stuff for Lemons, please? If it's not already been done. Thank you. Good lad. Oh, bloody hell. What else? What else has been... yes. A tweet that came out about Enfusion. And it went into detail about Enfusion and DayZ. Which I thought it was quite an interesting read, personally. And actually responded. I actually talked to... Well, Dump and I, we both talked about a few things with that, I believe. See if I can find the replies. I cannot find my comments. Was it with this tweet? No, it was another one. It was another person.
It was cool. The tweet he's looking for, though, was done by the lead designer of Enfusion that responded to both me and Vlad and me.
Yeah. But yeah, I thought, looking at this tweet, I thought it was a really, really interesting thing. And it does sort of show some speculation. It's like, okay, well, in terms of animation, if Enfusion can do this, why can't DayZ? And I know you said here, wait a minute, does that mean DayZ can finally get an animation framework here soon for modders to add in custom animations into DayZ for players and not break the mods before adding it in player animations as well? To be clear, I was informed you still can't mod in player commands in Reforger. My mistake, folks. But we'll just see. We'll just have to see what happens, because full Enfusion is still somehow in its early days. But we've already seen it happen before. And, well, yes, actually, yes. That Enfusion stuff is coming to DayZ, obviously, with the vehicle physics, and we've talked about that quite a few times. And it's... and going to the tweet, the conversation I had with the lead designer, it's, he admitted it's very, very difficult to backport. And it's probably one of the reasons why it's taken so long for the vehicle physics to come into DayZ, because there is a lot under the hood to do that. There's a lot of information that needs to go through, and it's not just a simple case of just plonking it in. There's a lot of stuff that goes into it, and you got to admire them for even attempting to backport some Enfusion stuff into DayZ, considering, to me, DayZ's reaching its limit about what it can do. I don't know if you two agree.
I would say yes after getting that response from him for you. How he said that Infusion split from DayZ almost 4 years ago. It tells me that the Infusion part of DayZ is greatly outdated. And then he responded even further saying that the Infusion engine is very game independent, meaning that I'm not sure how much of Reforger's future is going to be even put into DayZ because of the split that happened so long ago.
Yeah.
I'm hopeful, but I'm also not holding my breath.
No. What about you, Lemons?
Yeah, I'm kind of in the same boat. I mean, we had the same talk last night, you know, and I was saying that I couldn't see it going farther unless they were to push out something new and did pretty much they pulled another 0.62, you know?
Yeah.
Unless they do something like that. And I think if they did another 0.62, I think it wouldn't be as detrimental as it was last time because they're not moving to a brand new engine. They're just kind of taking the rug out and then kind of dusting it off a bit, you know, getting all the dust off and having a new rug, you know. So I don't think it would be as detrimental as changing from RV to Infusion was. Well, to a hybrid, but I would like to see them try at least to put some more stuff in, and they have been, you know, with the vehicle physics is one big thing, and that's from the most recent. From the most recent version of Infusion. So it makes you think what more they could port in. And one thing I was saying to Lad as well is to get some of those other really nice features, they would have to do some steps first. Like unfortunately, they would have to take charge and cut off support from last gen PC and consoles because they're dragging their feet for something that inevitably in like 6 years, no, it's just they're not going to be able to run new games. You know, they're trying so hard to keep things going, but they're pretty much putting a circle they're putting a square in a circle hole. You know, a square peg in a circle hole.
6 years is a lot of lost revenue, by the way.
True. That's fair. But the big issue too is if they keep DayZ on last gen consoles, people will keep complaining about how performance is bad on last gen, and that'll just bring the reviews down for DayZ, which is already at 2 stars, you know, on Xbox. Yeah. And it's not because of the game, but it's because of the hardware. They can try as hard as they want to fix to like make it optimized, make it better for the cost, but they can only do so much because we're moving forward. You know, especially with the stuff we see in Reforger. If we want to do any of that stuff, we would have to upgrade to DirectX 12, which the GPU and hardware on the original Xbox, it doesn't support it. Well, it doesn't support the new DirectX.
I will state that, let's say, just figuratively, that over 45% of all Xbox players play on last-gen consoles. Would it be smart for BI to tell that 45%, by the way, if you want the newest DayZ updates, you have to buy a new-gen console? I know that eventually will happen, but should it happen with new-gen consoles being barely 2 years old?
See,
it's a good debate. It's the same thing that they did with Grand Theft Auto, because when they released it, when they had it on 360, Rockstar kept it on there for a long time. They supported it for a long time, even when it got released into the new gen versions, like on the Xbox One. But I think it was 2 or 3 years ago, maybe 4. They finally pulled the plug and they completely shut down everything for the 360, and it took a long time.
Would work is that they would offer to all Xbox players that if you buy a new gen console, you can upgrade your DayZ. It carries over right away, and then they have that for like a year or two. Yeah. They have that for like a year or two, maybe 2.5, and then the last 6 months they announced that old console generations are now no longer getting support. So not only do you have the announcement that it's official that the new consoles will support the game you already purchased, but then you also have a long span of people to actually migrate to the new system.
Exactly. It's very
and they would have to do it. Yeah, for sure. And they would have to be very careful with the way they do it and the way they execute it. Because we're not talking like a week and it's all good. This would take like months, if not years, for them to do this full transition. But it's something that has to be done, because if we want to see any progression, they're going to have to cut support eventually. They're going to have to cut the rope because it's weighing down a majority of the game. Because DayZ, their model is Bohemia. They won't update something on PC and not have it on Xbox or console. It's not the way they are. If there's ever a new map, a new feature, anything, it has to be the exact same between the two consoles. So if they don't cut the rope, not only could this be detrimental to console players, but it could also be detrimental to PC players across the board. So
Yeah, that's very true. So you're suggesting to BI, if they're listening, start it now. Start letting people know that
yes,
eventually it's going to have
100%.
to move. The old consoles will stop receiving support and updates. Maybe that's what you're trying to convey?
Yeah, and unfortunately, they would have to re-release the game technically, because the way that it works on Xbox is you can make games that are exclusive to the new series consoles. There's three different ways. You can either release a full series console only, you can't download on last gens, or you can make a series optimized game. Now what that means is you can play it on last gen still, but it's Series X optimized, which means when you play it on the Series X, you get new features, like you get new DirectX, you get upscaled 4K textures, you get 120 FPS,
Yeah.
and that's all with that. Or you get what DayZ's doing right now, and they just have the original game released. There's no optimized Series X version. It's out there. You buy it for any console and you play it, and
Now, I
that's
can speak
currently
to
what they're doing.
I can speak on the PlayStation 5 behalf that like I owned a lot of PlayStation 4 games digitally, and on PS5 they re-released versions of the game that were catered to the PS5, higher performance, all that kind of stuff. And all you technically did is it just upgraded you from a PS4 downloadable game to a PS5 one, and then you just downloaded it.
Exactly.
It was just an upgrade, right? Yours sounds like that's not possible yet. From
Actually,
Xbox.
no. The way you described it, that's for the optimized games. That's how it is. You're simply downloading it through there. But they give us more options of what we can do, because you can either fully release a game, kind of like, oh, I can't even think about it, or like the new Grand Theft Auto. They released it again for Series XS, and it's only for them. The servers are only on there. There's no cross compatibility between last gen consoles, and it's just for them. But
Yeah, that's probably what would happen actually if they were smart about it. Is start to make it so there is no cross compatibility between PS4 and PS5. Because Rapper we just said PS4 players can't compete against PS5 players.
Exactly, and there's so many exploits on last gen as well, because you can, if you log out of a game and log in, it takes everything too long to render, so you can use it as an X-ray hack to be able to see every player within every building or every crate or every entity. So it's just they're running old hardware, and unfortunately, if they don't do it, it's gonna cause their own demise. And I'm not Bohemia, so I can't say what they're gonna do and what they're not gonna do, But at the end of the day, they're not going to keep the negative reviews aren't going to stop if they don't cut support, because everyone thinks it's Bohemia's fault, but it's just old hardware. You can't make old hardware. You can't run a 4K game, a AAA game off a calculator. It's not going to work as hard as you try. Well, true
Watch
that.
me.
That's fair. That's fair. But as hard as you might try, it's just they can only do so much. They can only go so far. And they're really going to have to start pushing that for something, and I'm surprised they haven't already, because they did it with Reforger. Reforger you cannot get on last gen consoles; it is only a next gen exclusive.
Yes.
Well,
So
Reforger was launched long after next gen consoles were already out.
That's fair, and that's the reason why it was doing that. But they were able to release it as a XS optimized game, so it makes you question why they haven't tried something similar for DayZ yet.
Maybe it's just not in the pipeline. Maybe we just won't see it until after this year. Because right now, I think you said before, people just can't get hold of the new consoles. In financially wise, it wouldn't. It's expensive.
Yeah, you're pretty much buying a mid-tier PC. Yeah. Because the internals, I'm not sure about what it is for the PS5, but the GPU on the Series X is the equivalent to, I think, a RTX 3060.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
But then there's even the availability of the consoles, like Lad was just about to talk about.
Yeah, lemons. You know what you are. You know what you are, mate.
He's a lemon squeeze.
He's a lemon squeeze.
Oh man.
But yeah, see, that's the thing. It's like not only they're expensive, but they're hard to get a hold of. And I think once things start to settle down in that regard, then BI can possibly be like, right, we need to start phasing out, because it's been 2 years since the current gen console's been out, but it's also been nearly 10 years since the last consoles have been out. 10
Yeah,
years.
Exactly. It was weird thinking about that.
Like, they came
weird.
out when I was about to go to college.
Though DayZ did come out pretty late on consoles. It came out in late 2018, early 2019.
That's very
So-
true, but even so, that's 3 to 4 years. And now that we're in a
True.
new console generation, preparations need to be set up.
Exactly.
Unless-
And at the
Unless
very
they come
least,
out with a Switch version, and then, sort me right.
hell no. I mean, they did for Dying Light. They released Dying Light on Switch, so it's.
Yeah.
But at the very least, all I can ask if they're watching is if they can just provide some sort of transparency to the issue, because everyone's talking about it, and they just need to address the issue so that we at least have some sort of hope or some sort of knowledge of what their plans are.
Even if they confirm they're going to cut support for older gen, it's still an acknowledgement, and obviously we will talk about it on the show, but the wider community can also make their judgment on it, if that's a good or bad idea. But we won't know unless they actually say something. And if people talk to them about it and try to level with them, maybe they can get a response. But we don't know. We'll have to see. We'll just have to see what happens in that regard.
Absolutely. But to leave it off, one thing I will say is the servers on Reforger on Xbox sometimes can be pretty empty. You can go through a whole page and there can only be like, I'd say 5 or 6 servers that actually have people playing on them. And that, I think, it's not because people don't like Reforger, but it's because not enough people have the new gen consoles yet. So
Yeah.
they just have to play their cards correctly. That's where I'm going to end it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Exactly. And just before we finish up today, I do want to mention again, like we've done at the start, about Miss Fu. They were a content creator for DayZ. They've been around the community for quite some time now. So, but there is a GoFundMe that I highly recommend you guys contribute to for Miss Fu. I never knew them personally. Not gonna sit here and be like, oh yeah, there was an amazing person, and I knew them so well, because admittedly I didn't. But to me, you're a content creator, you're a modder, you're a player, you're part of the community, and you're part of the DayZ family. And when you pass away or something happens to you, my heart goes out to you and your family. So,
100%.
Contribute.
And I hope the developers do something for them, because
I hope so.
for a lot of those people, they do at least put something out on the map. So I do really hope that they put something on the map for.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. But we will leave it at that. We'll leave it at that. Before we do finish, though, spotlights. What are your spotlights, guys? Tell me your secrets.
Go ahead.
Would you like to kick it off, Dumpgrah?
No, you go ahead.
You know what? I'll go
Okay.
ahead. All right.
There we go.
Since you're both
Yeah.
fannying on.
Wow, that's a fancy word there, lad.
Yeah, on. Yeah, I know, right? But no, but my spotlight. Okay, slight self plug. I worked on a commission for Happy Bombs for the past few months, and I finally finished it. And as of today, the weapon has now been introduced on all of the Zero servers. The R700 338 sniper rifle. It's a beautiful gun, but the spotlight mainly goes to the Zero servers and Happy Bombs. They were really patient with me. They were fantastic to work with. They gave me some fair criticisms at the end of it about some of the work. We talked very in depth about the work during and post commission, and I learned a lot throughout it. Dump, you helped me with the project actually yourself. It was fantastic. Remember the handguard stuff, you naughty boy. But they were really, really wonderful to work for, and you know what? I actually enjoy their service. So I would recommend you go in, check them out, check out Happy Bombs. He's a really good content creator. He's really funny. He's a good lad. Now over to you two, my good friends.
All right, so I'm gonna keep it 100 with you guys. My shout out is my boy Scotty. He is a legend, absolute legend, man. It was cool to see him pop in, and he's just he's just a fun barrel of monkeys. You know, he is repping the console community. For those who don't know, Scotty plays on PlayStation, so my heart goes out to him. Awesome guy, and I hope we don't have any other PR in a long time for DayZ. So
bring on the investigators. Nice. I'll say, bring on the investigators.
Yeah.
What about yourself?
What about you, Dumpgrah?
Okay. Today is actually speaking about the legend and his group of people themselves called Asmodean. He put out a YouTube video the other day called Shanaris Light. It's a public video, so I'm happy to share. I just sent it to Lad for him to show. Make sure it's muted. It does have music in it, but I'll post the link in chat. It is beautifully well done, and I'm super excited to see the future of it and everything else. For you folks who are interested, it's in chat.
Let me just set it up so I can get it up on... God, fuck. Yeah, I'll keep it muted. Latin America, okay. Comunidad de DayZ Latin America. I love butchering languages. Yeah, this is actually quite interesting. Bless me. Sorry, I didn't mute in time. Rude.
I'm not sure if the stream can see the trailer as well.
Oh shit, no they can't. Why does...
Oops.
Can they see it now? Yes, they should. Yes.
Yeah.
God, of course I have to pull a boomer move.
Okay, we need one.
Okay, I'll skip through a couple of bits and... Okay. Obviously, it doesn't have any audio because Dump gave the heads up, about the music being copyrighted, so we don't want to run that risk.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, I will say that there's a lot of cool things about this, but I can't give out any details about it because I did promise Asmodean that I would be tight-lipped. But keep an eye on it, folks. Keep an eye on it. This is a lot of hard work that they've been doing. We can see your Discord now. But just keep an eye on it, folks. Asmodean is an amazing infographic maker as well as an amazing person. And the team that him are working on, I believe Lemons is part of it now. They're just amazing people. And they definitely deserve at least a keen eye.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah. I've also I've translated the description to read it out for you guys, but it just says that Shanaris Light is a project of Latin origin, carried out in collaboration with part of the Dia Zero team, which aspires to be and extended to the rest of the international DayZ community in a 100% free and open manner. This project tries to offer dynamic and functional alternative to the vastness of the Shanaris map, rescuing the virtues of smaller maps and completing it with new elements in a vanilla manner. In other words, it's a stripped down, streamlined, and redesigned version of Shanaris with new and better POIs, quality of life tweaks, more flavor, and better FPS and server-side performance.
Interesting.
In the Discord, I will link.
Please do.
Not quick enough.
Hey. Hurry up, boy. There we go. And that's all really, really cool. I really do hope the best for that community and that server. I think it's going to be really, really great.
The cool thing
Especially
is
Venom
like you
ones
said,
and,
it's going to be free for everyone to use eventually. So I love that kind of mentality.
yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
I hope more people following that, you know, not just making it server exclusive,
Yeah.
making it all just a brand new experience for everybody just to install and run, because then that'll just inspire more people to do it, you know?
Yep. And I'll end my little spotlight with a remember, folks, you, the player base, and you, the streamers, control how people feel. If you like what somebody does, give them a like, give them a comment, maybe even give them a donation. But remember, you're the person that helps keep the community going. And if you want to, just keep trying to do it.
And on that note, follow, like, and subscribe to the DayZ Podcast 87 point.
I mean, definitely like the video because it does really help us.
Yes, absolutely. And before we completely finish up, can't forget the clip that I want to show off from Ruthless, who, by the way, he recently, I said it a couple of weeks ago, but he hit affiliate on Twitch. Again, props to you, my guy. Much love to you. I'm also going to put the clip in the channel, in the chat, so anybody who wants to watch it, they can go for it. Keep the volume on. I've not watched this yet. I have no idea what it is. So we'll see what happens. Are you guys? You guys got it on your? Alright, okay.
Oh shit. Yeah, I seen you, dude. Yeah, what's up, man? How you doing? Yeah, you got a mic, bro? No mic? Oh, you know how it is. You trying to hide from me, dude? No, okay, he's running. You know how it is. No mic, no life, so.
No
I'm
mic,
bored
no
what
life,
we're doing
yeah,
for
that's
the time
right.
being. Don't really trust this guy. We're gonna watch where he goes. Oh, oh, fuck. Oh. Wow. What did I just witness?
Okay.
He just
First
got sent to low Earth
murder.
orbit.
Like that was a hit and run. I didn't even see
Oh
this
my
guy.
God.
That guy is definitely dead.
That's hilarious.
Oh, you poor son of a bitch.
You know what, I
You know-
changed my mind about DayZ.
You know how it is. No mic, no life.
Keep him in.
So,
Exactly.
what we're doing. for the time
Just
being.
imagine if we had
Don't really
ragdoll
trust
physics
this
back,
guy.
what that would have been.
Oh my
Gonna
god!
watch where he
goes.
Spaghetti everywhere.
Oh shit. Oh fuck. Oh. Wow. What did I just witness? First degree murder. Like that was a hit and run. I didn't even see this guy. That guy is definitely dead though. Oh,
That
you
was-
poor son of a bitch.
That poor son of a bitch, indeed. Holy shit! That was fantastic. Oh my god!
See, they do have gliders in the game.
Oh, fucking hell. And on that note, that's gonna be it from me. I'm dying. That was a hilarious video. Ruthless, thank you very much for sending that across to us to watch. Jesus Christ. With that, you definitely didn't see it coming. With that will be the end of tonight's show. Dump, Lemons, as always, it's been such a pleasure having you guys on. Much love to you. Thank you so much. I'm gonna catch my breath. Jesus Christ. But everybody in chat, thank you so much for coming along. I really do appreciate it. You've all been absolutely fantastic. I want to thank everybody who has liked, followed, subscribed, and also donated to the podcast, this stream. As always, you're bloody brilliant. And we shall be on same time next week. As always, much love to you guys. I'll see you then.
Take it easy,
care.
folks.
Bye bye. You're not a boy. Mm-mm-mm. Bye. 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 Well, it's not exactly bye. I'm just like switching over to the stream ending. But there you go. Oh my lord. I'm definitely getting sick. Well, I've been sick and I'm recovering, but guys, you've been absolutely phenomenal. You've been brilliant. Thank you so much again for coming along to the stream. I really, really do appreciate it. I really enjoy your company. I really enjoyed talking to you guys about DayZ. And the show couldn't have gone without you. I do apologise about not having an episode last week, but I hope this episode made up for that. I really do hope it does. But we will be back on same time next week. We'll keep you up to date if there is going to be a guest. Dump and Lemons have got some people in the in line, and we'll be discussing about that in some point soon. But for now, you guys all have a lovely evening. You'll have a lovely weekend. Much love to you all, and I shall catch you next time. Take care. Bye bye for now, and much love.